So many people just assume that living frugally is going to take like a million years. You're going to have to hang all your clothes on a clothesline instead of using a dryer, and you'll have to cook every meal from scratch. That's just a myth, and I'm here to bust it. I sat down in less than an hour. I came up with 15 different frugal habits that all take less than a minute. Some were obviously less than a minute. Some of them, I timed them because I am here for the accuracy. And you can start all of them today. So number one frugal habit that takes less than a minute. When you are shopping online, fill your cart with whatever you like, but don't hit the buy button, and here's why. So a year and a half ago, I did a survey of a couple dozen former shopaholics, reformed shopaholics who'd somehow come to a better place. And one of the tricks they taught me was to put whatever they wanted in their shopping carts. Diamond earrings, good. Throw pillows, good. Everything goes in the shopping cart, but you don't hit buy. So they would just close the app and walk away. And then they would wait 24, 48 hours and then come back to the cart. That was useful for 3 different reasons. The first one is for a lot of these former shopaholics, they said, you know what? Just putting stuff in the cart, that scratched the itch. That made me feel like I was shopping, that I was treating myself. That was all I needed, was just put stuff in the cart and walk away. Awesome. The second reason though, if, let's say you aren't one of the people who is easily appeased by fake shopping online. Delaying the purchase by a day or two can sometimes give you the space you need to decide whether or not you actually wanted something, or whether it was just impulse shopping, or whether you were really bored. Giving yourself that space to make logical decisions and not decisions based on emotion. Chef's kiss frugality. Okay, but there's a secret third reason. I have heard a rumor that some online shops, if you put things in your cart and then walk away, sometimes they'll send you an email to be like, hey, sorry you didn't finish your shopping trip. Here's a little coupon if you want to come over here and finish shopping with us. Now, I checked through my own email folders. Amazon, Old Navy, and like a maternity store, the only 3, I didn't see coupons coming from any of those. But if you've done this trick and you've actually got some of those coupons, let us know in the comments so everyone can know which store to always wait before they buy at. All right, second frugal habit that takes less than a minute. Pack snacks and drinks. Lots of them. Because at some point in your life, you are going to be out and about in the world when all of a sudden you're going to be hungry or thirsty. And because you're not a robot, you're gonna need to eat or drink. And if you don't have snacks packed in your car, in your purse, in the diaper bag, whatever, if you don't have snacks and drinks on you, you're gonna go and spend at a vending machine, or you're gonna spend at a convenience store. And the price you pay for convenience is so much higher than whatever the cost is for snacks at grocery stores, which is already bananas, by the way, with inflation. But it's even worse if you're gonna go and get a snack from a vending machine or from a drive-through or anything. Pack your snacks. It takes less than 30 seconds to grab a granola bar from your pantry and stuff it in your purse, and then you're good. This especially applies if you have people in your family, like toddlers or husbands, who get hangry. Pack snacks for them too. Number 3, just use a little bit less. This rule applies to basically everything. I mean, I'm talking detergents, pasta sauce, shampoo, like anything that has a quantity that you need to consume or use up. The next time you go to do the thing, just use a little bit less than you normally would, or a little bit less than the recipe calls for, and just see if that's good enough. If you're one of the people who thinks you need to use a full cup full of laundry detergent, you gotta scale that way down. If you discover your clothes can get just as clean, satisfactorily clean with 2 tablespoons of laundry detergent instead of like 1/4 of a cup, or 1/2 of a cup, you've extended the life of that detergent bottle by 2 or 4 times. Yay you, that's a ton of savings. And the more materials you can apply this rule to, the more these savings are gonna snowball. Is this video being helpful yet? Because you can leave a like if it is. 4, check places like Facebook Marketplace regularly without buying every single time. Just checking for items you're hunting for. I talked in my last video on frugal habits about having a to hunt for list, but if I say, what's on my list right now? A walk. My husband would really like a WOK walk. And so I've been hunting for a couple months, casually, not taking any more than 1 minute at a time. When I'm at the thrift store for something else, I just glance up and down at the kitchen supplies. Do they have a wok? No? Okay. I do this on Facebook Marketplace sometimes. I'll put wok. Look, oh, okay, they don't have it. Less than a minute. This is gonna help me keep an eye on the regular prices of things, and B, if it lets me know if this item does become available somewhere near me, I can jump on it, and then I have it, but not at full price. 5, check for free, fun things happening in your area. We humans like joy and fun and laughter. The world is very willing to give us lots of opportunities to pay for those things, but there are tons of free options. So recently, my town, I'm gonna just show a clip of this, my town had this for free last week. So my family went and we saw these guys all stacked up on top of each other. It was fantastic. And my son got to pet a puppy and was delighted. 6, do you have a job? Do you want a raise? Try spending 1 minute every day getting better at something that could make you eligible for a promotion or a raise at that job. So does your job offer bonuses to people who speak other languages? If you've got a lot of foreign language speakers in your area, would they pay you more if you could be like, yes, I'm fluent in Spanish. Yes, I'm fluent in Portuguese, whatever. Duolingo is free. You can start learning a new language. Maybe you can start working toward another certification. Maybe you can just start watching YouTube videos about marketing. If you want to be the manager and you get to be the one who designs the sign on Main Street every day, you can be like, hey, guess what? I can do the signs for you and I can increase our profits by 30%, whatever it is at your job. And you might be saying, Hillary, you told me this was a video about saving money, but this sounds like you're trying to help me make money. But guess what? This saves you money too. Because if you would otherwise just be sitting on the couch watching TV with lots of commercials that are designed to get you to buy things, or if you would otherwise be like online shopping and actively spending money, but instead you're spending some time learning a new skill, now you're not spending that money. So you saved it. I know people don't like this one, but it's really useful. This is like one of the epitome frugal things that people look at and you're like, what a waste of your life. But washing reusable products. I timed this one just because I wanted to make a point. Are Ziploc bags that expensive? No, they are not. To some people, it might not sound like much savings, but over time, we're working towards snowballed savings. And for such little work as just bag clean, I think that's worth it. In fact, one time I lived for a week with a group of religious sisters, like nuns, and in their community, they had literally one of those like pull out laundry drying racks just for the Ziploc baggies that they washed every night. And so I will, you go down in the morning and there's just all these Ziploc bags hanging out to dry overnight. It was fantastic. 8, when you're using an ingredient, food item that you regularly are going through and you notice, it is almost out, immediately write it on your grocery list. Do not wait until it's all out. Do not wait until it's like 10 minutes before you're about to go grocery shopping and you're doing the scan, what do I need to buy? Because then you aren't going to have enough. And when you go to make your next meal that requires this thing, you're gonna be like, oh darn, I don't have enough. Better go to the grocery store. And do you know what happens every time you go to the grocery store? You buy more stuff. So save yourself some impulse buys, save yourself the extra gas to go back and forth from the store, and just when something is about to be used up, just write it on the list. 9, if your dad is anything like mine is, then you've probably heard this one before, but it's worth mentioning for those who haven't. But when you are using water, washing your hands, washing the dishes, whatever, turn off the water. You do not need to have that tap running as you lather your hands and sing the ABCs or whatever song you use. I've also heard a rumor that in Europe, the norm is to actually turn off the shower head while you're lathering your body and just turn it back on to rinse all the suds off. Now, I can't confirm this because I've never lived in Europe, but I know there are people who watch this channel from Europe. People have got comments from Portugal and France. So if you are a European or have ever lived in Europe, I would love to know if this is like one of those myths or if this is actually the norm over there. 10, next time you are in the grocery store, take an extra 1 minute and just walk down the freezer aisle and take a look at things that are in the freezers. Not because you're going to buy them, but because you are planning things from your own house that you can freeze that you probably didn't know you could freeze. Like I'm sure you knew that frozen pizzas exist and frozen French fries, but did you know that you could actually make them yourself and freeze them? Or did you know that you could make a big batch of waffles or a big batch of pancakes and freeze them yourself? I've been living the frugal life for a few years now, and even me, every time I go down the freezer aisle, even I go, oh my gosh, I never thought about freezing that. What a fantastic idea. And it just gets logged in the back. They say knowledge is power. We'll get to this in point 15, but having a good catalog of ideas is going to be helpful when you're saving money. 11, check the apps for all the grocery stores that are within like reasonable distance to you, especially the expensive ones. And here's why. Where I live, I've got 2 expensive grocery stores in my area. They're called Hannaford and Shaw's. Shaw's is an Albertson affiliate. Hannaford is like a northeastern one. And I don't shop at either of these stores. I don't shop at any store every single week. I bebop around. Sometimes I'm at Walmart. Sometimes I'm at Aldi's. Sometimes I'm at Hannaford. Occasionally I'll pick up a few things at Shaw's. Once in a while I go to the Amish store. I don't have any store loyalty. Even then, it still pays to check their apps. Here's why. No. Here's my Hannaford account. This is what I've saved with Hannaford's app just this year. $339. Here's Shaw's. Shaw's this year I've saved $62.20. That's from using coupons and that's from getting cash back. Hannaford is amazing. So this is why you want to check the apps because they can be really good. And do you know how long it takes to check an app? Less than a minute. Coupon scan, nope. Flyer scan, nope. And you're only scanning the first page of that flyer, right? Like nothing else is actually a lost leader sale. It's just marketing. All right, 12, open and close your curtains in accordance with temperature savings. So when we bought this house didn't have curtains and we did not go out and immediately buy curtains for every single window. But over time, as we found which windows were the leakiest, because this is Maine and it gets cold, we started buying the thicker, what's the name? Light blocking curtains, insulated curtains. Sugar, what is the name of them? And when it's nice and sunny outside and you don't want the sun to be in, all the windows are shut to keep all of the heat from the sun to stay outside. And when you want the heat to come inside, you open the curtains. Admittedly, that does require me looking like a jungle monkey to climb up around the furniture, closing and shutting some windows. It takes less than a minute. Open, close your curtains according with whether you want heat coming in or going out. All right, 13, budgeting is great, but it is not a 1-minute habit. However, this is a hack you can use if you're already budgeting every single month or you're working toward that skill. Have a budget thoughts list. That's what we call it in our house. You can call it whatever you want. But all it is a list that my husband and I jointly keep. And whenever one of us thinks, ooh, yeah, next week it's my cousin's birthday, I should be getting them a present, add cousin's birthday to the budget thoughts list. Oh, dang, my car really needs an oil change next month. Budget thoughts list. That way, when you go to budget at the beginning of the next month, you have a list of all of the things that you need to have in the budget for that month. When we first started budgeting, and I know this is very common for a lot of people when they're new budgeters, you just forget stuff. It takes you a while to get used to the rhythm of it, and you realize, oh man, I had such a great, perfect budget, and now I have to blow it because I forgot about my great aunt Bertha's birthday. But if you have a list made in no time at all, just whenever you think of things, you can look at when you're about ready to set your budget, you're not gonna forget as much stuff. You probably still will the first couple budgets you make, but it's okay because you're learning. But as you practice and you get better, you're gonna have fewer of these things, or they'll actually be emergencies, which you can use your emergency fund for. This one is crazy. This goes against everything I was taught as a new driver. I still can't believe it a little bit, but I'll leave all of my evidence in the description and you can tell me what you think. Don't warm up your car in the winter before getting into it. What? The US Department of Energy, Environment Canada, and mechanics everywhere apparently all agree. Modern vehicles, anything that's not like an actual antique car, anything like in the last 20, 30 years, modern vehicles don't need more than 30 seconds for the engine to warm up before you can just drive off, even in the middle of the winter. And if it's frigid, like really, really freaking cold, apparently it's only, you bump it up to a single minute. So it's still gonna be cold sitting in the car, but your engine doesn't need that much time to warm itself up. In fact, I gotta read this verbatim because if you idle your car for 5, 10, or 15 minutes, not only are you wasting all of that fuel, right? It's like just going out to nowhere. You're also making your car actually 7 to 19% less fuel efficient for the entirety of that drive wherever you were driving. It will mean you do have to dress warmly though, because your car will be cold if you live where I do. But if you need more convincing, like I know I did, I left a bunch of my sources in the description for your perusal. All right, and finally, point 15, take 1 minute every day to practice creativity. Because so much of being frugal isn't actually about watching all of the YouTube videos to get as many tips as you can. It's about looking at your problem in your life and your particular sets of circumstances and thinking, is there any way I could solve this problem without spending money? So many people think they're not creative because they didn't like art class or music class, or they can't write a poem, but creativity is so much bigger than that. And you can be a very creative person just by figuring out new ways to stretch a dollar. So the next time you're up against a problem and your immediate thought is, oh man, I gotta run to the store to get this ingredient, to get this material, to get this solution, just take one single minute and think, how many different ways can I come up with that solves this problem without using money? Maybe it's duct tape. Maybe it's Gorilla Glue. There are a lot of ways to solve a lot of problems, and I would be very encouraged to hear any of your creative ideas in the comments. If you have any particular stories you want to share about creative moments you've had. Of course, if you're struggling with creativity, sometimes it helps to just watch someone else be creative a few times, so you can watch me be creative and solve one of the problems I had recently in this video, which I will send you to next, and I'll see you over there. Bye, YouTube. What are these for? Honey! Thank you. I will put these over here somewhere.